Hi, my name is Carolina Millard, and I am a cisgendered straight woman who is a current graduate student at Drexel University studying dance movement therapy and counseling. Today I will be presenting my culminating project entitled Devereux's Drag Race, Empowering LGBTQIA+ Adolescents Through Dance Movement Therapy. My project's goal was to workshop and solidify a gender identity program that would support and empower LGBTQIA+ adolescents. It was orchestrated at my internship site, Devereux Children's Behavioral Hospital, an acute hospital setting for children ages 7 to 17. However, it is my hope that the program can be orchestrated in the future at various settings like schools, day programs, and community centers. There were many sources of inspiration for my project. Whether it was the excitement of combining my theater background with my dance movement therapy work, or the chance to support queer adolescents in finding their voice and releasing their inner stories, this project was extremely important because it was simply needed. Not only have I noticed a lack of dance movement therapy literature focusing on the therapeutic work with queer adolescents, during my adolescent years, I appreciated how theater gave me a safe space to practice voicing, embodying, and dancing emotional expression. What's more, I noticed a parallel between narrative and multicultural clinical approaches in the work of RuPaul on RuPaul's Drag Race. Whether she asked the queens what they'd say to their younger selves or tasked them to embody their queer icons on the runway, I am constantly inspired by how Ru supports drag queens in finding their inner confidence, power, and voice through the art of drag. I began to wonder if I could harness embodiment, voice, and narrative approaches to support the queer adolescents at Devereux. One day, during a group a trans boy voiced, "I feel more comfortable in mental hospitals. There are more people like me." My heart broke. Though I was thankful he felt safe, it was a reminder of the adversity he must feel outside of the hospital. So how can I do it? Bring Drag Race to Devereux. UKCP registered dance movement psychotherapist Sissy Laiku highlights the importance of queering as a form of expression in dance in an attempt to try new identities. What's more, psychiatrist, author, researcher, and educator Bessel van der Kolk said, "As long as you keep secrets and suppress information, you're fundamentally at war with yourself." I noticed the queer youth at Devereux did not have a specific safe place to discuss, disclose, or fearlessly explore different gender identities. Therefore, I was interested in creating a therapeutic space that supported adolescents' vocalization, exploration, education, and embodiment of gender identities and their overall journey in discovering who they truly are. My plan: to meet bi-weekly with Devereux adolescents who either are curious or identify as LGBTQIA+. Through the use of voguing, fan dance, and other techniques used in queer scenes, I would uplift their gender identity exploration by helping them embody movement rooted in queerness and pride. However, through the workshop process, something even more special came to be. When starting, I anticipated movement to be the main focus of the group. She, they. He, him. They, them. But that was not the case. The first 3 weeks was filled with an overflow of disclosures and crosstalk. I want to come out to my mom. How do I hate my dead name. What's a new one? When I came out, what does cisgender mean? I said it was just a phase. Neopronouns are zim, zer. My mom told everyone, the staff say new names are confusing. Can we share coming out stories? Can we shout out, "I'm gay," outside? They lived in this crosstalk, or Rudolph Laban's sagittal plane, for some time before I introduced movement. I found myself applying van der Kolk's values, providing a space and opportunity to verbalize their inner truths aloud, while supporting the adolescent development with autonomy in the group process. I slowly introduced movement, suggesting they take pride poses when considering to compromise their identity for the comfortability of the staff, peers, and others. Next, I prompted them to explore fan movement. The theme of opening and closing began to parallel their coming out story. Through metaphor and narrative enactments, they began to embody their coming out process.
The same day, the voice came back into play as they exclaimed their gay outside. I'm gay! This is when I realized the voice and inner stories had to be released before bringing in the body. After that, there was a release of inner trauma. Did the incorporation of the body support the cohesion of the group and sharing their adversities? Suddenly, individuals were sharing, I think being a part of the LGBTQIA plus community can be taxing on our mental health. Sometimes I wish to be cisgender because it would be easier, but that's not me. It's not a choice. A lot of trauma came from this community, but it's still a part of me. As they respectfully shared their personal stories of trauma and sexual abuse, I realized I could use the body to recuperate from such an intense discussion. I utilized a brushing off, which the individuals transformed into a slash movement or stomping and pushing their trauma into the center as they yelled and cursed at it. Finally, as I labeled the release and containment of their trauma, I invited them to feel their feet on the ground and stand in their own power, with their trauma outside, dispelled from their body. It was during the final sessions the body became fully integrated with the voice. They ended every session by shouting their identity aloud. However, this time they didn't do it facing the center of the group. They faced outward to the fields beyond their courtyard fence. Their body activated as they stomped their feet, extended their torso, and proclaimed their identities for the world to hear. I'm Oliver. I'm Pan. I'm a boy.
The voice is a part of the body. It's an additional limb or extension. As 2013 Drexel graduate Julie Beth Lipson said, exploring their inner voice encouraged physiological awareness, self-reflection, and reclamation of identity. Through my process, I realized that the voice needs to be activated before integrating the body. It's a modality that adolescents are used to, and what's more, for this population, it's a release or deluge of their inner world and stories. Once space is left for the voice, then the body can be addressed, incorporated, and fully integrated into their identity and gender expression. Finally, spaces like this are needed, period. These adolescents are swirling in a sea of identifiers and language forcing them into boxes. However, they desire to be seen, heard, and supported in the midst of this development. So let us, creative art counselors, support, uplift, and empower the queer youth and future. Provide a safe space to listen, try on, and embody different identities. The adolescents will be thankful and will grow more than you ever expected.